Yo, yo, yo. Hey guys, it's David here from Social God, and I am reacting now to another video from Dr. Orion Teraban. This is one of his earlier ones. This is a couple of years ago. This is probably around about the time that I kind of found him. He was probably at 50, 60 or 70,000 subscribers at that point, maybe even a little bit less. And as you can see, this is done from his original office. He was obviously a practicing psychologist. You can see all his, degrees on the wall there. So he knows what he's talking about. And what he does really, really well is he makes these analogies, these little snippets of information that are easily relatable in the modern day for us, to absorb all of this information. But he's really, really good. This one's not as polished as we would hope, but this is the essence of what his book becomes later on, which is called the sexual marketplace, the value of others. So this is the genesis. He's probably been thinking about these topics for a long, long time. And this is the genesis. You can hear this in this particular video about the captain. So this is the genesis, I believe, of his book, The Value of Others. He'd already thought of these concepts many, many years ago, and he's just starting to get into filming these. And it's quite good. It explains the overarching theory of the captain. I'm going to let Dr. Orion Teraban talk about this, but it's actually it goes a lot deeper than this in his book, and it's absolutely fascinating. So let's hear it. And then there's kind of different kind of captains. So we'll go into this book. This is absolutely fantastic.
I'm Dr. Orion.
Let's just switch cameras, hey? Go back to that. So this is one of his earlier ones. Here we go.
I'm Dr. Orion Teraban, and this is Psychacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is, what is the sexual marketplace? The sexual marketplace is everywhere, and we're all in it. And we all have, whether we like it or not, a perceived value within that marketplace. And just like the stock market, that perceived value fluctuates from moment to moment, increasing or decreasing depending on context, demand, and the perception of the potential buyer. More than anything else, it's our perceived value within the sexual marketplace that determines our optionality with respect to potential sexual partners at any given time. And that's
very deep stuff.
Just the way it is.
That is the way it is.
In this talk, I'd like to introduce a metaphor that I often use to help people understand how the sexual marketplace works. It goes like this. I'd like you to consider that the sexual marketplace is like a harbor, a pier, a place where all the boats are, okay? And that men and women have different roles within this metaphor. We'll discuss each in turn, starting with the men. Men. It's kind of a good news, bad news situation, my brothers. In this metaphor, you have 3 tasks, 3 things you need to do, and none of them is easy. You also won't be getting a lot of help.
Yep, because basically society, society really doesn't tell us what we actually need to do as men. That's actually the biggest problem with society at the moment, and there's a bit of a renaissance and an uprising for that again in the men's community about how to actually do this stuff correctly, and he's explaining it so clearly.
If you're a man, there's no free lunch. You should expect that without these things, women aren't going to really look your way, and men will step over you on the street. So, what are these tasks? First, you need to build a boat. Second, you need to learn to sail. And third, you need to chart a course. Do you understand? You have to have resources, you need to be competent, and you need to have an overarching purpose. Only then can you dock your boat in the harbor of the sexual marketplace and successfully attract the attention of women in earnest. This is bad news because any one of these tasks is a lot of work that could take years to accomplish. However, it's also good news because anything you spend that much time mastering is yours by rights and cannot easily be taken away from you.
Which he explains more in the actual book. So highly recommend The Value of Others by Dr. Ryan Teraban.
And what about all the women? Well, in this metaphor, the women get to go down to the harbor and look at all the boats. They get to kick their proverbial tires and look at the cabins and examine the manifests and interview the captains. The captains are all standing in front of their boats looking for passengers. Hey, do you want to get on this boat? How about a ride? Fancy a cruise, my dear? I'm going to Hawaii. Well, I'm going to Australia. I'm going to Hong Kong. You're welcome to come on board. The women have their pick of it. And this isn't as easy as it looks because they know that each captain is going to advertise his particular boat in the best possible light. So the women have to test her available options and conduct some due diligence before making their decision. Which boat is the most seaworthy? Will it stay in one piece out in the open seas? Which captain is the most trustworthy? Will he take me where he says he's going to go? Which boat is the most comfortable? Will I be able to live on board for an extended period of time? These are important questions.
So the woman is obviously looking for someone who can provide and protect her. And this is a great analogy. And she gets to choose which boat she goes on.
And eventually she's going to make her choice. I like this boat. I trust this captain. I want to go to that destination. Let's do it. And if the man accepts her choice, he welcomes her on board and the two sail off into the sunset. I mean, not really, of course, but this is just the introduction to the metaphor. However, that's basically how the sexual marketplace works. If you're a man, you got to build a boat, learn to sail, and chart a course. And if you're a woman, you got to examine the boat, test the captain, and confirm the manifest. And what happens after the boat leaves port? Well, that's the topic for another episode. What do you think? Please like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. Seriously, it's important. And see the About tab for more information on donations and consultations.
So yeah, that's Dr. Ryan Teraban, one of his earlier videos. I'm not sure how far into his YouTube journey that is, but that is kind of the nexus of a metaphor that is used in the value of others, and it's quite good. Basically, men have to build a life, build a lifestyle kind of thing, be competent at certain skills, providing and protecting and all of that kind of thing, and then have a destination, have a goal in mind, have a purpose in life, make a dent in the universe, as Richard Cooper from Entrepreneurs in Cars says. You have to have some sort of goal in life. If you're just hanging around doing nothing, then she's not going to really see you as someone that's actually going places. So look, that's Dr. Ryan Teraban with his metaphor about the captain and the women that get to go down to the dock. There's lots more to discover in that, but I'm just going to stop that there. This is David here from Social God, checking out for now. Cheers.